Welcome to the 37th episode of English Mirrors video series, Know Your Theorist. Today, let's know the theorist J.Hillis Miller. J.Hillis Miller was born in Newport News, Virginia, and studied at Oberlin College and Howard University, where he received his doctorate in 1952. He taught for nearly 20 years at Johns Hopkins University, then taught at Yale University, where he held the Frederick W. Hillis Chair in English and Comparative Literature. In 1986, he left Yale for the University of California, Irvine, where he is currently UCI Distinguished Professor. Miller's early work, especially Charles Dickens' The World of his novels, published in 1958, grew out of his interest in the Geneva School of Phenomenological Criticism, especially the ideas of Georges Paulet. Over the next 10 years, Miller studied the 19th century literary tradition, producing The Disappearance of God, published in 1963, and Poets of Reality, published in 1965, texts which examine the way God's absence and the here and now serve to ground literary vision. Through the late 1960s and 1970s, he continued to write about the literary tradition, but also turned his attention to the problems that had arisen in the wake of deconstruction and other post-structuralist theories. In Ariante's Thread, published in 1976, he argued that narratives do not proceed along straight lines, but are rather structured like labyrinths. In The Critic as Host, published in 1977, he defended deconstruction against the charge of parasitism and in the process of deconstructed the binomial relationship of host-parasite. He followed up these extremely influential essays with Fiction and Repetition, published in 1982, an important study of the novel that drew on Nietzschean and Deleuzian theories of difference and repetition to describe the two modes of repetition, unifying and differential, that construct novelistic narrative. In the 1980s, Miller began to explore a linguistically based ethics of reading, arguing that our compulsion to read enabled the development of an ethical sensibility. In 1990, Miller consolidated his position on the ethics of reading with three collections of essays: Tropes, Parables, Performatives, Versions of Pygmalion and Victorian Subjects. These texts, with their emphasis on literature as a performative act involving the reader as collaborator, confirmed his reputation as a major innovator in deconstructionist and reader response theories. His work of the late 1990s tended towards studies of literature, drawing on narrative theory and speech act theory. More than any other post-structuralist critic, Miller has taught us the myriad possibilities of an ethics of reading grounded in the openness of the text. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, please share and subscribe.